Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast with your hosts, K. Reno and DJ Rec.
Well, alrighty. I think this is episode 30. It's been a minute, but we're back at it. Legends 34 with K. Reno, me, DJ Rec. And man, we got a lot to catch up on since last time, let alone the beginning of this exciting bully ballroom extravaganza going on with the Rockets. But first things first, man. You know what I got, K? I'm going to tell you what I got, man. That's why you see you got this guitar I bought from my son right here.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I got, K?
What you got, man?
Let's see if I can strike at least one little chord here. I can't hear it. I got the point guard blues.
Yeah.
Point guard blues. Man, I take Moochie Norris about right now, man. What you think?
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a wasted season if they don't get a point guard. Now, I know right now the hands are tied. They literally can't sign nobody or trade for nobody right now. That'll open up, I guess, in a couple of months from what I'm hearing. But if they don't get I'm not one of these Rockets fans that's just delusional and just blind to the facts. I want the Rockets to do well, and I look at this as being a season where they can contend, but the trend so far is turnovers, disorganized offense. Even though they were ranked number one so far in offense, it could be a lot better if it was more fluid. And if they don't get a point guard, they can get through the regular season. It'll look good in the regular season. They'll win 50, 54 games, finish top 3, 4 in the West, get a home court. But when the playoffs start and teams are really focusing in on what they're doing right now, they're already pressuring and crowd. They've been pressuring and crowding Durant. When the playoffs start and that really ramps up and all these inexperienced ball handlers we got, they're not going to be competing for no championship like this. So they better figure it out.
KD had 8 turnovers last night.
Yeah.
And is it just me, or does it seem like, I mean, like the first game of the season, he went into overtime, right? It seems like he's getting tired, man. He is older, but it seems like in those fourth quarters, he's turning the ball over or his shot don't look right. I don't know. It's just maybe he's just getting a little older.
I think it's the point guard situation. He's being asked to do something that he don't do.
Right.
He's not a LeBron type of player that can play, make, and do those things when he had the ball. KD is buckets.
Right.
That's his buckets. So when he's asked to make plays or, not saying that he can't, because he can, if they trap him, he knows how to read the defense and make plays. The man been in the league 17, 18 years. He's a highly intelligent, high IQ guy. But I think to ask that too much of him is putting a strain on him, and the defenses are reading what he's doing, where he's going with the passes and things of that nature, man. I mean, they just need a guard who's going to be a threat to score himself, that can set the table, and now KD is kind of waiting to play off of somebody, and then when it's time, give him the ball and let him do what KD do. I don't think he got to do it being his game is the same. He still gets his shot off. He's been slumping the last 3 games as far as percentage, but I still don't see nobody that bothers him getting the shot off. He still does that, but they got to get a guard, man. They got to, man.
You would think I used to get his name messed up. Holiday off
Yeah,
the bench would be
Aaron. Yeah.
utilized more, but
Well,
he doesn't play the defensive tone that they want.
even him, Aaron Holiday is a scorer. He's not
Floor
a
general,
floor
playmaker.
general.
Right.
Yeah, that's not who he is. So they don't have that on the team at all right now. Amir Thompson, who played point guard all his life, but not in the pros, he's still learning. He turned the ball over at times when he's trying to create. He makes a mistake. And when you don't have a point guard who demands that ball right off the rebound, that's going to get everybody in place, now we go back to the times where whoever gets the rebound, whoever gets the ball, feels like they can bring it up. So now you got guys like Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason, who I love Tari Eason, but he got to stop trying to dribble the ball, man. You know, he got to stop trying to bring the ball up, and that's just not his game. And so they got to get a point guard that can get things in order. Otherwise, like I say, they got a first or second round exit in their future.
And that's really unfortunate because they have some great pieces that have come together on this team. And now Fred VanVleet.
Bad luck. Bad luck, because they would be so much better if they had him. But you also have to get backup. We got backups at every position. And I love that because I love what Clint Capella's been doing. I love having 3 or 4 big men like that. I love having all the versatility on the wings. But the one position where we need to be deeper is the position that we lacking in right now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. What were your thoughts on last night's game? I'm going to run some of this, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
can you see the screen?
Yeah. Game they should have won. They was up by 10 or 12 points.
Of course, we're going to get hit with a commercial.
Yeah, they just let it get away from them. And San Antonio was relentless, wanted it more than they did. And again, the pressure, the turnovers, second chance point. They really beat the Rockets at their own game last night because they was offensive rebounding like crazy with little guys. And I would have liked to seen Steven Adams or Capella in the game down the stretch in that fourth quarter because they were getting all of those extra possessions because guys like Keldon Johnson and were jumping in there and getting all these rebounds.
I was really impressed by the Spurs, man. They're not a pushover team anymore, man. They're really getting after it defensively and on the boards. I mean, Wembanyama helps, but they're really young too. They got Harrison Barnes, maybe a couple of veterans, but I was quite surprised last night, man. They really dug in and they got that win. It's just it sucks that like you said, Rockets got no floor general. We don't know how good they can be.
Well, this is the thing about the Spurs, and I hate to say this, hate to admit it, but if you look at the Spurs roster, man, those guys been together for some years. Right. They're like the Rockets. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Sohan, those guys have been together. That group has been together 3 years with Wemby. They've been together like 3 or 4 years. See, so they have developed. They have kind of grown up together. And then you throw Harrison Barnes in that mix. He's been there about 3 years now. So their main core group of guys, they have chemistry because they not moving. You know, San Antonio is known to keep their guys in place. They're not just shuffling young guys out and all that. True. They keep those guys together. And I always felt like that was the formula to success, that you don't give up on. This is a day and age where everybody gives up on the players so fast. And, the Rockets have kept their core nucleus together outside of trading Jalen, but San Antonio done the same thing.
Right. It's very surprising, man, because they started out with 5-0, 6-0, or something like that on the season.
Yeah,
5-0, I think.
they had lost 2 in a row before they beat the Rockets,
Yeah.
but again, the Rockets had that game won. They had control of that game. I'll say that.
Yes.
You're up by 10 or 12 points. You're on the road. You understand that this is a NBA Cup game, and the intensity is going to be a little higher. San Antonio's at home, but they beat the Rockets 30-something, 33 second chance points, man. I don't care who you are. That's going to be hard to win when you give up that many, and you're supposed to be one of the top rebounding teams in the league. But I just didn't see our big guys in the game down those stretches, because those are rebounds that Clint Capella and Steven Adams are going to get. They're not going to be able to keep. It was so many times where the Spurs got the offensive rebound, kicked it out.
Yeah.
Either Harrison Barnes or Champagne hit a three, and that's another guy who's been with them a while, part of the nucleus. So they hit almost 20. They like 18, 19 threes, which I don't think would be the norm for them. They shot the lights out. So I mean, it was a good win for them. I think the Rockets would contain that moving forward, but it's a game we should have won. I think if we had Steven Adams or Capella in the game in the fourth quarter, they wouldn't have got as many offensive rebounds, because they hit almost 20 threes. I don't think that that's a sustainable thing for them, even though they got good shooters. Harrison Barnes and Champagne just got hot last night, and we didn't make the adjustment, to get those guys off that line, or either make the lesser shooters beat us.
Right.
And that's something that should have happened. If somebody gonna get them shots, it need to be Sohan, it need to be Stephon Castle, it need to be guys like that.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. Again, we don't know what they're really capable of, but it's some sort of it's almost an experiment at this point of who they're going to put in at guard to run the offense. But we'll see how the coach handles that going forward. But early in this season, who's surprising you as far as the NBA right now?
Teams,
Yeah.
San Antonio, definitely one. Chicago Bulls,
Yes.
looking real good over in the East. Philadelphia looking real good. See, and with a team like Philly, man, and I understand the money that they've invested in Paul George, the money they've invested in Joel Embiid, but man, sometimes you just got to charge it to the game and let these young horses do what they do. And when you got Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe, who was their top pick, the lottery pick, them boys is hooping, and they already playing together like they've been together 5 years. And Paul George hasn't played yet, to my knowledge, and Embiid is in and out the lineup. So I'm ready to wash my hands of that if I'm Philly, because at this point, Joel Embiid, he's who he is, man. You're not going to get 75, 80 games out of this dude, and you're paying him all this money, and then you're sitting him out. Sitting him out for what? Because when you sit him out, supposedly the reason you're sitting him out to load manage him is so he can be healthy down the stretch when we need him. But a guy like Embiid, it might be time to figure out, trying to move on from him. He's probably been in the league a good decade now, a little bit over 10 years now, and they still haven't been. They haven't even made it to the championship. I don't even know if they made it to the conference finals yet. So you got to cut your losses at some point. Paul George used to be an Iron Man. Now he hardly plays. He's always hurt. Let these young boys do it now. Let them go. I'm gonna build my team around them 2 guards I got now. Right. If I'm Philly, but they looking good so far. Portland's looking good. Dangerous young team. I'd love to get Drew Holiday from him, but we'll see.
Magic look good. I think.
Yeah, the Magic. Yeah, they coming along.
A lot of people have more expectations for them early on, but it seems like they're coming into gears.
Yeah, they like a game under 500. They need to get better, but yeah, it's a lot of teams, man, because the changing of the guard is happening in the NBA. A lot of these teams are starting to these younger teams that were at the bottom, like the Rockets, like Detroit, it's starting to flip around, and those young teams who kept their cores together, they starting to rise to the top. Now the Lakers become it's a dangerous team, man.
Yeah, man, LeBron ain't even playing yet, so yeah, that's kind of scary. And Austin Reeves getting 50-point games, so here's a conundrum. Russell Westbrook's now with the Kings, and they've not put him in the starting lineup, and his stats are Russell Westbrook stats, but they're not winning.
Did you see what he did?
Well, I was just saying, it seems like, why is it where he goes, they don't win? What are we missing, man?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
He can definitely play. He can still play, but
they just don't have a good team. Sacramento haven't been good in a long time. You got to remember, Russell Westbrook was in the conference finals last year. I mean, the semifinals last year with Denver, and played pretty good.
Right.
Russell Westbrook is a guy I think he's been in the playoffs every year of his career, maybe except one or two. I don't know what happened that year with the Wizards or whatever, but he's won everywhere he's went. And the other night, he went crazy the other night.
Yeah.
He became I think he's coming up
rebounding shooting guard of all time.
Yeah. So he's doing what he does, and again, is erratic as he can be sometimes. I would love to have him as our starting point guard.
That's what I'm alluding to. Would you want him as the point guard? Could he help us?
In comparison to what we have at that spot, yeah. But if I had my pick out of what was legitimately possible for the Rockets to get, then no, I would try to see if we could get Drew Holiday out of Portland. The problem is, so far, it's early. So far, Portland's winning. They might got the same record the Rockets got. So it may be a situation where Portland may not want to move him, or he may say, "I'm good. I'll stay here." But if once things start leveling out and we really start seeing who's going to be good and who's not, because that's how the NBA works. Teams will jump up out the gate early, and then everything comes back to normal and the good, But if they can pull something for Drew Holiday that doesn't require us giving up too much, then we right back in the mix then. We right back in championship contention then, because he's a guy, he would be perfect for the Rockets. Perfect.
Think that's a move they wait until the All-Star break? Maybe
they can't do nothing but wait. They can't make moves now because of how the business side of it is structured. But yeah, I mean, whenever it opens up, trust me, this is a team in the last, since Fred VanVleet signed with this team, this is a team that's not used to turning over the ball 18, 20, 22 times a game. So I'm sure the coaching staff and the front office is like, yeah, we got to fix this, because that's not going to get it against Denver. That's not going to get it against OKC. I'm naming the teams that you got to go through to get to where we talking and where we can get.
Well, on the Warriors.
Yeah, definitely. It don't matter who the Warriors got, and they'll beat us some kind of way anyway, But the point is, yeah, last year Fred balled out against the Warriors. It's just the point. If you really talk about the big prize, it's not gonna get it. What they got, it's not gonna get it. It's gonna look good in the regular season. It's gonna be, wow, the Rockets played great last night. The Rockets on a 5-game winning streak, 7-game winning. It looks good. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about those 7-game series against those top teams. We don't have that right now.
Even without a point guard, even with possibly down the road, on the horizon, challenges lay ahead, do you predict any All-Stars? I know Şengün is probably definitely a
KD, Şengün.
Do you think Amen Thompson makes that jump this year?
No, it's gonna be too hard for him. I don't think he gets in this year. KD, because of who he is. He's KD. If he holds around that 25, 26 a game where he is around All-Star break, he'll be automatic. Şengün, if he can stay on the level he's been on, he may become that perennial guy next to KD. But Amen Thompson may have to wait a little while longer because he's more still in that Swiss Army knife type of mode as a player. He's not going to average you 25, 26 a game. Now, he can make it in other ways. If somebody that does make it gets hurt, okay, well, we'll bring Amen Thompson in. But you got to factor in all the other players that are pencil ins, you know. And so I don't know when LeBron's coming back, but if LeBron doesn't come back, that's a wing position that may open up to get somebody in the All-Star game. But you got Luka, Shea, and if Austin Reeves keeps playing like he's playing, Austin Reeves, you got Ant-Man. You know, it's too many players at his position. That's just going to make it hard for him to get in right now. But you never know.
Right.
Leave the door open, though. Leave the door cracked. You never know.
Well, we wish them luck, man, with challenges lay ahead. But when they are playing bully ball, it is fun to watch. When they're just towering over everyone, passing over everyone's heads, let alone Şengün's playmaking ability. But
they got beat at their own game against the Spurs, and that just I was scratching my head on that. I was like, man, why can't they get the rebound? But then it dawned on me. I was like, man, Steven Adams or Capella not in the game.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make that adjustment. Like, okay, these dudes killing. These little dudes is flying in, killing us on the board. Let's get some size in there and regulate this. And they never did.
Well, if we got the Rockets out of our system, we're gonna move on to football. I think it's all we got left. There's no baseball.
Yeah. It's depressing, man.
What's more depressing, the Rockets no point guard or the Texans offensive blues, huh?
Oh, the Texans.
Take your pick.
Clearly. No, Texas automatic. At least the Rockets gonna win a lot of games. The Texans didn't address the offensive line this season, in this offseason, and as a result, they paying for it, which they getting their medicine, because how could you not deal with your biggest, most glaring weakness? And actually the line got worse. So now CJ got a concussion, and it's all the trickle-down effect. Okay,
By an illegal hit. What'd you think about that?
It was I'm unpopular opinion in the city of Houston. Clean hit. It's a clean hit.
It was up top.
If you watch it, he never made contact to the head. He caught him like right in the chest area. The concussion occurred when his head bounced on the ground. So there was nothing illegal about the hit. But my issue is that because of the fact that the offensive line is so trash, he had to take off and run in that situation. You know, protection breaks down. Sometimes the quarterback got to get out and run. And the more your quarterback has to run, what I always say, I don't care who it is, the more your quarterback has to run, the higher the percentage goes up for him to get hurt. And unfortunately, when he slid down, he wasn't able to kind of brace himself, and the head snapped and bounced. So, you know, the only optimism we have now is that Davis Mills has a 2-0 career record as a starter versus Jacksonville. So maybe he has that team's number, and they can beat the Jaguars tomorrow with Davis Mills and keep us kind of, as they say, in the hunt. Because as I know and you know and everybody else knows, even by adding an extra game onto the season, you don't get many chances to lose in the football season. And they already have 5 losses. Didn't lose with 7 all of last year before last. So they get to 3-6 tomorrow, it's pretty much over. Playoff chances is over, especially if CJ misses another week. They would have to go on just a streak, and the schedule ain't showing too favorable for that to happen. So they have to win tomorrow to be 4-5, stay in reach of a wild card and hope they get some help.
And maybe I'm reading too much into this. And there's one thing we're talking about Stroud and these new offensive line and this new offensive coach, on and on, with those elements, right? But there's a whole other thing, right? When your starting quarterback goes out due to concussion, and your second string quarterback comes in, and he's too high, too low, he's in front of the receiver, he's behind the receivers, as if this is his first time ever throwing to these receivers and the routes they're running. Like, what better glaring observation that this offensive staff don't know what they're doing? I mean, and yes, am I asking for the sky, the Davis Mills to come in and save the day? Yeah, maybe I am. But at least he knows what routes these receivers are running and where to throw the ball. He just comes in, he looks completely inept. Like, this is the first time he's even had, it looked like practice.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Didn't this game look like Davis Mills was in a practice? He was just all over the field. Like,
well, you can't simulate and practice the game speed. So the truth be told, game-wise, this is the first time that he's throwing to some of these receivers. He may have a little experience with Nico, a couple of times when CJ Mayer went out for a play or two last year. But when you're talking about Hutchinson, when you're talking about Barrios and these
Christian
guys,
Kirk.
And I don't think, and Christian Kirk, these guys are new to these guys are new to CJ. So Davis Mills not getting starter reps in practice. I mean, I can see why chemistry might be off, but I can also see where rust might come in on behalf of Davis Mills because, he hasn't been playing much. He went from a guy who was starting for 2 years to just a solid backup because, well, I ain't gonna say a solid back, but a backup because CJ, for the most part, does play every game. He has a couple of missed games. So, and Davis Mills he's about 12 for 19 last week, which is not terrible, but it was an insignificant 12 for 19 because it's little short pass there. And you still can't convert in the red zone, because the offensive line is so boo-boo. So we'll see, because like I say, Jacksonville that's his medicine. That's normally the team he plays the best against. And the flip side to that literally is that with the top-notch defense that the Texans have, they keep you in games.
That's right.
Even as bad as this offense is, the Texans literally could be 6-2. You know what I'm saying? They really could have. If a few things happen here and there, they could have won 3 of those games they lost and should have won a couple of those games they lost. So the defense is going to do what it does, and it's just going to be a matter of they can't score touchdowns. That's the problem. That's a Texas problem all season long. They can't score touchdowns. Nico's been out. Christian Kirk's been out. No Joe Mixon all year long.
Yeah, we don't know what's up with that. Even in fantasy football, I have him on my injured reserve, and even on the notes, they haven't been updated in months. Like, they're keeping. It's as if the Texans organization is keeping something secret.
Yeah. Well,
what that is hanging a big question mark. We don't know.
We don't know if it's injury. We don't know if it's conduct. Whatever the case might be. But I know that you throw this guy in based on what he did last year, it changes everything, because he's a guy who his skills as a running back compensate for a bad offensive line, and he did it last year, so better decisions have to be made. The offense looks actually worse than it did last year under Bobby Slowick, so I don't know what type of adjustments is that the new guy has to deal with or what he's working with, but it's just a bad look. I would just hope that if this season is going to be a wash, the main priority going into this offseason needs to be the offensive line. Everything's in play. We got defense. We got the quarterback. Woody Marks could be the running back if Mixon never comes back. I think Woody Marks has the potential to be a number one back. But I want to address that offensive line. We say matters on the offense. Everything starts at.
Then we got the jitters real quick. Just let it pass, I guess. It's like a storm. Of course, I can go back
Freeze.
and edit. I think you're back.
Oh.
But you were talking about Woody Marks. But yeah, I think he can definitely be that red zone target, that red zone weapon. Let alone he catches the ball in the backfield, you know what I'm saying? Which is what Mixon also does, makes him such a red zone, threat that they don't have. Because they were trying to, I guess, groom Goomba Wally to be that, and that last time he fumbled him, I think that was it. I'm glad that experiment is over with.
No, I mean, sometimes you can gimmick yourself out of a game. We're gonna bring a Gomawale in just to shake things up and throw them off guard man, look, sometimes this is about just keeping it simple, just doing what's the logical thing to do. Woody Marks should get, based on how he's played, he should get 20 carries a game. Nick Chubb is not the Nick Chubb from Cleveland no more. Nick Chubb is not looking like his old self. And they're balancing out those carries between those two backs. It needs to go the other way. Woody Marks should get that ball 20, 22 times a game on handoffs, and whatever comes out of the backfield with passes as well, with Chubb being that second guy that you get the ball to mix it up, or Woody Marks is resting. That's just plain and simple.
Which hangs another question mark. What's wrong with Damon Pierce? What has happened? Well, I mean, he's not hurt that we know of. Has he fell that far off the radar? Can you trade him and get an offensive lineman here? Help me out here.
I would if I could. If it's
so
something like that.
mysterious.
Because his rookie season, everybody was like, "Okay, cool. We got our next Arian Foster. We set." And he had a great rookie year, and then just the next year, he was done. It was just nothing else. This kid's 20-some years old. I have no idea what happened to Dameon Pierce, man. I have no idea. I just knew that we was good, but.
Yeah, he's been reduced to special teams play. That's when they had him returning the ball in the playoffs last year. Yeah.
And barely getting carries, and just he's not even spelling like, say, the starting guy was, okay, well, let's put Dameon Pierce, every blue moon, but I'm like, that's a shame, because this was his position as long as he wanted it. As long as we wouldn't even have to pick up Joe Mixon if Dameon Pierce would have lived up to what he was in his rookie year. So I don't know. But yeah, let's see if it makes sense. I'm not a general manager. I don't know how those numbers work and those situations work. But at the end of the day, yeah, if we can package some of these guys together and maybe get a few linemen up, established, good, solid offensive linemen, man. Not this incompetence that exists on the offensive line, man. It's so frustrating to see false start, illegal man downfield. That's like, come on, man. It's like, it's too hard, man.
Right, and I think some of that falls on the coaching, even though, they really hang their hat on the defense, you know what I'm saying? They, like you said, it keeps them in every game, whether it's points allowed, yards allowed, let alone they stop the run.
Yeah.
And that's something we can't take for granted, man. They couldn't do that for many, many, many years.
You're asking too much from your defense, man.
Yeah.
These guys holding some of the best teams in the league to 16 points, 12 points, 18 points. You're asking too much. They doing. Somebody said on the radio, the Texans have a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yes.
And I agree with that. They got a Super Bowl caliber defense, but if you don't match that offense with the defense to some degree, if the defense is here the offense needs to at least be here to have a chance. The offense can't be here. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them a shot.
You got to be at least Trent Dilfer, huh? Trent Dilfer level. Remember the Ravens? Remember that year they won the
Right.
Super Bowl?
Trent
Everybody was
Dilfer.
like, Trent Dilfer sucked. Well, he's just enough game manager to get you there, and that's what they did, right?
Right. And that's because the other pieces are in place.
Right.
Okay, we got a guy that can block for this guy just for a little bit, the decent run game, then that makes a difference. But, I say it all the time, if soon as CJ snapped the ball, the defense is sitting in his lap.
Ugh.
And we've seen games where the line looked all right, or maybe it wasn't necessary the line looked all right. It's just for that particular week, the play calling was more creative, and he was getting it out of there quicker, running different actions that kind of kept the defense off balance. You've seen what CJ can do when he got the time. But if he don't, he gonna look like he played like he in the third grade.
He ran for his life.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. Seems like we playing this broken record every year with this offensive line. Like you said, maybe in this next offseason they can address that. Who knows? I don't know why they didn't address it this last offseason.
And you playing with your window. Man, this the NFL, man. When you in a position to go for it, you got to go for it. You can't play around because these players move around and injuries happen and other teams rise up and get better. You have a window of opportunity that is not promised. You know what I'm saying? When you got that chance, man, you better dive through that and get it done. I'm excited more about the NBA season and hopefully we can turn this thing around. OKC and Denver, they look great. A lot of teams in the East look great. Hopefully the Rockets can get it together. The Texans, y'all, don't get your hopes up. It's probably over this year. We might not make the playoffs this year unless they go on a hell of a run. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Oh, I do have one thing, real quick. I was watching a short, and this dude, I don't know who this dude was, and he was talking about the greatest centers of all time. And you hear the name, the Wilts and Shaqs and all that, which rightfully so. This dude said that Hakeem Olajuwon is not in the top tier of all-time great centers.
Hakeem Olajuwon, he's the dream shake. He has some of the best footwork in history. Kobe, LeBron, a lot of these players went to him for help. He has 2 championships. He scooped his championships basically during Michael Jordan's hiatus. But I don't know if he truly pushes into that top tier of centers. And because of that, I have to go tier 3.
And if I'm remembering right, he said he's either in tier number 2 or number 3, which I don't even know what tier 3 would consist of, because if, from my vantage point, Hakeem is absolutely, he's the best ever to me. But okay, just say we're not gonna say the best ever, but he's definitely in tier 1. Tier 2 would consist of Patrick Ewing,
David Robinson,
guy. Okay, cool. Who is tier 3 consist? Who does tier 3 consist of? If you said Hakeem Olajuwon is in tier 3, who is that? You got him down there with Rick Smits and
Tree Rollins.
yeah, Tree Rollins or somebody. So,
man, Tree Rollins just got a name drop on this show.
Man, I lost my mind though, because I'm like,
I know, that's so infuriating.
This makes you know that this dude don't know nothing about basketball, period, or the history of basketball, definitely, because there's no center conversation. Even you may not think that Hakeem is the best. That's fine. You may say Wilt, you may say Shaq, you may say Kareem. That's tier 1, but Hakeem is right there. Mount Rushmore centers. Oh yeah, Hakeem on that Mount Rushmore. Ain't no doubt about it.
Even Jordan said out his own mouth. Hakeem's top 10 steals.
as a center.
Come on, man. What? That's
So because
Heard of.
that's a great argument, because you talking about a guy whose defense was just as great as his offense.
correct.
And you can't say that about any
Nobody.
other center except
Yeah,
maybe Wilt. Wilt, maybe.
Maybe,
because,
right.
Because Wilt scored 30-something. He's an all-time leading scorer, and they didn't register block shots back when Wilt played. So I would say prime Wilt would have been the best case of offense equal to defense. But outside of that, it's Hakeem Olajuwon, because Kareem, really good defensive player, but not the defensive player Hakeem was. Shaq wasn't the defensive player Hakeem was. David Robinson, yeah, but not the defensive player Hakeem was. You know,
You just putting a battery in my back, man. That's all it is. So you're gonna get me on a rec rant here, right? So Hakeem Olajuwon was drafted before Michael Jordan, and there's a reason for that, because at the time every team had to have a 7-footer. Yeah, Tree Rollins, Rick Smith. I mean, it's a little bit later, but Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaq would come later. Every team had a big man. It was, you pound it inside. You have a big 7-footer. If not, big 7-footers that come off the bench. Cadillac Anderson, anybody? He was on the freaking show. This was a era dominated by big men. Every team had to be a big man. Who was drafted before Michael Jordan? Bowie, right? Sam Bowie, another big man prodigy, right? You had Hakeem played in the era, probably the most dominant era of big men ever.
He did.
Right?
Did.
Would you say that? And he, I wouldn't say dominated the competition, but he was the king at the top of all big men every night, right? So, in the era where Jordan played. So, and for him to be top 10 steals, top 10 blocks, 2 rings, he'd been to the finals 3 times?
Yeah.
Right. How is
defensive
what's
player
the criteria? Yeah.
MVP, defensive player of the year, finals MVP, all in the same season.
Against nothing but big men.
So he did dominate in his prime years. In the 2 years he won the championship, he ran through the top centers that were in the league. The tops, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, and Shaq, in 2 years ran through them. So if you're gonna say that Hakeem not a top tier center, then like I say, that let me know that you don't know basketball, and you definitely don't know basketball history, because I'm gonna find that clip and I'm gonna send it to you, because he definitely said tier 2, but he might have said 3. I just got to make sure. He might have said tier 3, which, like I say, I don't know. I don't know who's in tier 3. So yeah, but that was my little adage that I wanted to put on tonight's show, because I'm tired of these 20-something, 30-something-year-old cats that wasn't even born when the greats from the 80s and 90s was playing, and they don't have an understanding and appreciation of how great these dudes really was.
I was just watching, I think it was last night, in a feed. You know, those feeds come through your reels or whatever. And I guess it was an anniversary game or something. But Hakeem playing against the Bad Boys, 1990. Just mollywopping these dudes, man. Both sides of the court. He's blocking Rodman. He's blocking John Sally. He's stealing the ball. On the other end, he's turnaround, hooks in the lane, dunks, alleys. He's got 18-footers. He's in from the top of the key. Man, unstoppable, both sides. And this is the 90s Bad Boys. Bill Laimbeer, right?
Best defensive team of that time.
Destroying
not so much the best defensive team, the roughest, most physical / possibly dirtiest team. And Hakeem, I think I know the game.
He had 30-some points, 25 rebounds. He just went through the whole. It was
light work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
tier 3. Come on, man. But yeah, that's my version of the rec rant tonight. It's the K rant.
Well, it's glad we got things back on track here. We'll maybe get back in the schedule of things, more frequently do these episodes now that I've settled down here. But we do want to announce you got a another comic book coming out, issue number 2. You got a new album
Yeah.
coming out as well.
Yep, Annihilation of the Evil Machine comic book. We already pushing and promoting. Hold on, let me get this just to show the people real quick. Hope this glad on hit. This is the box. This is the whole bundle box. This is how it's gonna come when you get the Annihilation of the Evil Machine. The box that it comes in, the comic book will be in it, the poster will be in it, and the coloring book and all the different stuff to it, man. So yeah, we own it, man. We own it like we want it.
So awesome, man.
That's my little peanut head.
I was on a show and A Boogie, he got a radio show himself. I was on Wednesday and I brought over the comic book and show and tell, and he was, oh man, how can you tell me I want to get one of those? So I got to direct him to your website. So
Yeah.
But people are still surprised, man, that you doing such these, endeavors that are outside of music, man. It's so amazing.
Shout out to Dollar Bill, man, who made it happen, man. Straight up.
So that's awesome. And you got an album coming out you're working on?
Brand new album should be out by the middle of December. It's called The Industry, and it's spelled END, US, US, Tree, TREE. So yeah, that'll be out probably middle of December.
Always wax poetic. Right in time for that stock and stuffer, right? That CD, right?
Yeah. Right in time. Hopefully right on time for the Rockets to be able to be eligible to get a point guard around December. I don't know when it's going to happen, but yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And the my kids, they got a couple shows coming up. I'm update the website, but as always, man, thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Legends 34. Peace.
Yeah.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Legends 34 Sports Podcast.